Thank you, Gideon. Thank you so much. Okay. Is David Cox here in person? Wonderful. I'm just going to go through it. Then I have three names after that. Adassa O'Malley, Mathis Cluzio from the Toronto Youth Cabinet, and Leslie Gash. We're going to get done in time. Okay. Welcome.
Like the other speakers, I hate this chair because it's far too low. Secondly,
Yes.
I'm not sure if Gideon and I are in the same cities, but never mind. All right, my name is David Cox. I live in Etobicoke. For the record, I'm not part of the 16-person contingent representing the Toronto Youth Cabinet or ACORN or paramedics who seem to have monopolized at least this afternoon's session. Nor am I here to ask the Budget Committee to increase spending. Believe it or not, I'm here to ask you to find ways to reduce spending. Now, this is something which is, I don't think anybody in the council except for Stephen Holliday has any desire to do. We just, every year we see the same old thing, spend, people lobbying here to spend more money. It can't go on forever. It's evident to most of us, I think, living in Toronto, that many members of the City Council view homeowners as the goose that lays the golden egg. Like previous years, there has been little or no attempt to make meaningful budget reductions or hold the line for non-critical services. As we all know, Council has taken the easy way out by once again raising property taxes, 6.9%, last year 9.5%. I think, you know, it's in the face of potential US tariffs and resulting unemployment, this seems to me somewhat short-sighted and irresponsible. I just don't understand how you can't factor what's going on across the border into your thinking about the budget, but there you are. Toronto citizens see signs of incompetence, complacency, and corruption almost everywhere in the running of this city. Let's start with one example, the Parks and Recreation audit conducted by the Auditor General's Office last October. Well, what do we find? The department didn't consistently meet service level standards, it didn't have clear guidelines for supervisors, it didn't use GPS technology to monitor crews, the daily logs were not always accurate, and crews were found to have spent time at non-park locations such as restaurants and shops. Somehow, despite all this, the council or the budget committee thinks it's okay to raise the budget for parks and recs by 12.8%. I just don't understand your logic there. They're not performing well. There's corruption there. There's other things being done that are inefficient, and you want to give them more money. I don't know. It just seems to me like it's totally unbelievable. Secondly, the Toronto Police budget continues to be out of control. Let's ask ourselves, what's driving the budget increase? As the Ontario Solicitor General said, there's too many crimes being committed by people who are out on bail after being charged with a previous serious criminal act. This means that one person's creating two crimes, two involvements of police officers. Had the bail system, which we should be lobbying for, been more realistic, this number of calls or criminal cases would be down. 30% of 911 calls were for non-emergency, and yet we send the police out there. You know, the police are meant to be dealing with criminal events, not some person wandering in the street in their bra and panties. We've got over 5,000 police officers making $138,000 a year. You know, is that worth it? We've got 4 hours of overtime for a 5-minute call. We've got 60 days of sick pay, and here's how the system works. I'll volunteer for overtime, and then in order to recover from that day of overtime, I'll take a sick day. I mean, it's ludicrous. It goes on and on. And lastly, let's talk about TTC fare evasion. That cost $123 million in 2033. It's estimated that 12% of riders do not pay, and yet you want to freeze the fares. 12% of them don't care whether you freeze or not. They don't pay anyway. And then the fines that have been levied between Q2 and Q4 in 2023 represented 1% of the lost fares for that same period. Now, we've increased the number of inspectors. What can we expect it to be? Maybe 5%? I mean, it's ludicrous. If we had got fare evasion under control, the budget increase for the TTC would only be 1.5%. But no, nobody cares on this city, in the budget committee, in the council, in the mayor's office. Everybody just wants to spend. Thank you.
Are there any questions of the deputant? Seeing none, thank you, sir.
Thank you.